Hi Tino, can you hear me?
Hi Naresh.
Yeah. Good morning, Tino.
Yes, good morning.
So your voice is a bit low, Tino. Can you please speak a little bit louder or keep the microphone near to your mouth?
Is this better now?
Yeah, it's somehow better, but not great.
Is this okay?
Yeah, it's okay now. So there are 4 to 5 people joined. So Madhavi, Nitin,
Okay.
Srikanth, Anjali, and there is one more person. I don't know the name. So you please
Okay.
continue the demo session. I'll be giving you the presenter access. So you please continue the demo session. Okay?
Okay. Fine. Fine.
Yeah. Thanks, Tino. Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. So Srikanth, you're trying to tell something, but we can't hear your voice properly. Everyone, I have one request. So please send me your email IDs in the chat privately to me, so that I can send you the further updates. So Tino, please continue the session. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Naresh. Welcome everyone to the Workday demo session. Uh, People who are not speaking, just mute your lines for now, and whenever you want to speak, probably you can
Just
unmute and then.
hi.
Hello.
Srikanth, your voice is not clear. We can't hear you. You're not audible. Can you please exit and rejoin or check your microphone and all? Srikanth, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, now we are also able to hear you.
Hi everyone. So welcome to the demo session. So whoever is not speaking, please mute your lines. And whenever you want to ask a question, probably you can unmute your ask, or probably you can ask the questions in chat also. Okay. So, I mean, we are going to see like what is the difference between Workday and on-premise applications initially. Okay. Now, as you would all know, Workday is an software as a SaaS application, right? Workday is an ERP application. It's also a software as a service application, SaaS application or cloud-based application. So I would assume everyone knows what is the difference between an on-premise ERP application and a cloud-based ERP application. First of all, I mean, in an ERP application, all your functionalities are pre-packaged and provided to the customer. So that is the difference between an ERP application and probably, let's say, a custom application that we develop in Java or .NET. In a custom application like .NET, or Java, we have to build all the functionalities from scratch. Okay, code everything up from scratch. While in an ERP application, the basic functionalities are all provided by the vendors. That is the difference between an custom application and ERP application. So earlier the most famous ERP applications in the market was PeopleSoft for HRMS, probably SAP for supply chain management, Oracle apps for finance applications. So these were the main ERP applications in the market. And all these applications, SAP, PeopleSoft, Oracle apps, were all on-premise applications. Okay, now 10 years back, as you would know, like PeopleSoft was famous in the market as an ERP product for HRMS product. Almost 10 to 12 years back, Oracle brought over PeopleSoft. Okay, and after Oracle took over PeopleSoft, the founders of PeopleSoft actually moved out of the company and then started this new company called Workday. Okay, one of the bet that they took at that point in time was that, no, I mean, they made sure PeopleSoft was an on-premise application, but they built Workday as a cloud-based application. Okay, or software as a service model application. So let's first see, like, no, I mean, what do we mean by a software as a service model? So software as a service is a model of software delivery where the software company provides the maintenance, the daily technical operations, and support for the software provided to the client. Okay, it also assumes that the software is delivered over the internet, and I mean, small companies, large companies can use this cloud-based application. Okay, is that clear? Software as a service is a model of software delivery where the software company provides the maintenance. So in our case, Workday provides the maintenance, it provides the daily technical operation and support for this software. Okay, while on an on-premise application, the customer needs to maintain the application. They need to make sure like they have resources to do the daily technical operations on these on-premise applications and also do the support. While on a cloud, I mean software as a service model, the software company takes care of it. So in our case, Workday takes care of maintenance, daily technical operations and all those stuff. All that, I mean, when we say like Workday takes care of daily technical operations, maintenance, it all translates into lower cost of ownership to the customer. Okay, or rather they save money on the software. So that is how it is useful for the customers. Now, in software as a service model, we assume web is the platform through which this software is actually delivered to the client, or rather, I mean, the users actually log into the application using a web browser. Okay, the same way that we access any other applications like Gmail, maybe Amazon.com, things like that. Okay, so Workday also you access using the web browser. Now, what is the advantage to the customer if they move to software as a service model? Okay, one of the advantages is like they can stay focused on the business processes. Okay, why is that so? Because on an on-premise application, the customer needs to maintain the application. So if there are no functionalities available, they have to write out the requirements. They have to work with the IT team to make sure that IT team develops this functionality in the new in the on-premise application, test the functionality, and then roll it out. Okay, but in Workday or in cloud or in Workday cloud-based application, the customer need not do all that stuff. If the customers find that there's no functionality available within Workday, they just need to speak with Workday, provide them the requirements, and then Workday takes care of building that functionality inside the application. Okay, so this way the customers can stay focused on the business process and need not spend their time on the IT processes of this functionality. Okay. When customers move to software as a service model or to Workday, okay, basically from a financial perspective, they're changing the software to an operating expense rather than a capital purchase, which makes better accounting and budgeting sense for them. In simple terms, what this means is, when you move to an, when you do an on-premise application, the customer needs to buy the application. They need to buy the server. They need to buy the database server on which the database is hosted. They also need to buy a database. So basically, there is a capital purchase that they need to do for at least buying these servers. Okay. While in software as a service model, they need not do any capital purchases. In Workday, they actually pay for the number of user licenses that they acquire for. So if a company has 100 people and 100 people uses Workday, they only need to pay for this 100 users. Okay, there's a per subscription per month for each user. So they just need to pay that. They don't have to pay anything separate for buying the server or the database or the application per se. Okay, while on an on-premise application, initially at least they had to do all that stuff. They had to buy the servers, databases, the application, and then engage an implementation partner to do the implementation. While in Workday, uh, no need to buy any servers. They just need to, their initial cost is only to do an implementation cost. So they have to engage a software vendor to implement Workday for them, and there is an implementation cost associated with that. They do that, plus they just pay for the number of users who are going to use the application. Okay. So that way it makes sense to the customers. They don't have to spend anything initially apart from the implementation cost, and that way it makes it as an operating expense for them. Okay. Now when you move to software as a service model, we create a consistent application environment for all users. Okay. What this means is, say for example, when you are on PeopleSoft on-premise application, okay, each customer of PeopleSoft may be on different versions. I guess the latest in the market is PeopleSoft 9.2. Okay, so some customers would be on 9.2, some would be on PeopleSoft 9, some would be on 8.9. Okay, the reason why they are on different versions is that some customers would not have upgraded to the latest version. Okay, because for upgrade also there is a cost involved, and some customers don't want to take the cost, so they would be on the on an earlier version. So what you would see is like, no, I mean on on-premise applications, you see customers are on different versions of the application, while in Workday, all customers across the globe are on the same version. Okay, because Workday does the maintenance of the software. They do the upgrade of the software every 6 months free of cost. Okay, so this way we would see that now, I mean, all customers of Workday are on the same application environment. So currently we are on Workday 26, and sometime in September we would be moving to Workday 27. Okay, so as of this moment, all customers are on Workday 26, and in September, sometime in September, all customers will move to Workday 27, which is done by Workday itself, free of cost to the customer. Okay, so that's one advantage when they move to software as a service model. The other advantage is there's no concerns for cross-platform support, because the infrastructure is provided by Workday itself. Workday ensures like the infrastructure is maintained and up to date by Workday itself. Okay, so in on an on-premise application, you would see that, no, I mean, you buy a server, okay, buy a database. Sometimes you have to upgrade these databases also whenever the vendors upgrade it. Okay, while in Workday, I mean, Workday takes care of that. I mean, customers need not be worried about all that stuff. Okay, Easy access, as I said, you access Workday using the web browser. Okay, so it's how you access your Gmails or any other web application. Same way you can access Workday also. Okay. When customers move to software as a service model, it becomes, it translates into lower cost to the customer, in the sense that um, they just have to pay only a monthly affordable subscription. Okay, there are no initial capital purchases that they have to do, so that translates into lower cost for them. Implementation fees are also significantly lower when they do software as a service model. One of the reasons why the implementation fees is lower compared to on-premise application is that the software is provided by Workday. Okay, Workday maintains the application. So as implementers, we cannot customize Workday, we can only configure it. Okay. So one thing that you need to understand in Workday is like, no, there is no last level of coding that you write. You don't write too many codes in the application. You only configure it. Okay. So because you configure the application and you cannot customize it, the implementation fees will also be significantly lower, because you can roll out an application to a customer maybe in 3 to 4 months, and which will translate into lower implementation fees too. Okay. Workday ensures continuous technology enhancements are made to the application. New functionalities are provided to customers based on feedback and things like that. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, I think everyone are on mute. Fine. No, having looked at software as a service model, where we understand that in software as a service model, the software company takes care of the maintenance, it takes care of the daily technical operations and things like that, which all translates into lower cost to ownership to the customer. So that's what we learned till now. Okay, software as a service model. What is the difference between software as a service model and on-premise applications? So one of the reasons why you see that there is great demand for Workday in the market today is all customers want to lower their cost of the cost of ownership of the software. So on on-premise applications, because they have to upgrade these applications frequently, they need to customize the application. Consequently, they have to maintain a larger IT team to maintain these applications. All this converts into higher cost for them, and because they want to reduce the cost, people are actually moving from on-premise applications into cloud-based applications, and Workday is one of the best cloud-based HR application available in the market. Okay, that is the reason why you see a great demand for Workday right now. Okay, now briefly let's see how the Workday architecture looks like. As functional implementers or maybe technical implementers, we need not be too much worried about the Workday architecture, because the Workday architecture is maintained by Workday itself. Any changes to the architecture is done by Workday itself. So as implementation consultants or technical consultants, we would not be working too much on the architecture, but it's always good to know how the architecture is built. Okay. Now in Workday, the heart of the Workday architecture is what we call as the OMS, Object Management Server. Okay. So it's in this OMS that all the application logic, the data, the security, everything is executed within this OMS. Okay. So we can say how CPU is the core of an laptop or computer. Same way, OMS is the heart of this Workday application. Okay, so all the data, everything persists inside the OMS. So this Workday Object Management Server, okay, which we call as the OMS, okay, it uses an in-memory object model which is defined by metadata. Okay, so all the data, all the business logic, everything resides inside the object management server. Okay, now you access Workday in maybe in two ways. One is through the UI, okay, which is nothing but the web browser. Okay, from the web browser you communicate, I mean you connect to Workday, or you connect to Workday using the integration systems, ESB or web services, enterprise service bus, the web services. Basically this we use during the integrations. Okay, now whichever way you use to connect to Workday, okay, remember that you can communicate to Workday only using XML format. Okay, so whatever request you put through UI, okay, that request is converted into an appropriate XML request by Workday and then sent to the OMS server for processing. So OMS server processes that request and sends back the response via an XML request, which is again converted into a way that the user can interpret and then shown onto his screen. Okay, same way with integration systems also. Okay, basically you write XML request, okay, which is sent to the object management server for processing. So at this point in time, just understand that, I mean, the heart of this Workday application is the object management server. Okay. So initially when Workday started, okay, uh, they were on a client server model, which looks something like this. So wherein the users used to connect to Workday using the internet browser or via integration systems. Okay, all that requests were converted into XML, sent over the internet into the UI server or the integration server, which used to send it to the object management server for processing. Okay, so earlier if you see, all customer requests used to come into one object management server. Okay, and from the object management server, the data they used to keep capture in something what they call as a persistent store. Okay, persistent store is nothing but, I mean, it's not a database, but I mean all the data is stored in memory. So the object management server used to make sure like this customers data are stored in a persistent store. Okay, so the key difference was that, no, I mean all customers of Workday's data used to come into one object management server. So as time progressed, as more customers were there for Workday, because of the limitation of just one object management server, it would take time to process all the requests. It's like, no, I mean, sometimes your Gmail is slow because so many customers log into the application, right? Same with Workday. I mean, if so many customers log into one application and because there's only one object management server to process all these requests, okay, Workday later moved from this client software into an service-based architecture, which is shown here. Let's not get into these details of the service-based architecture. All that you need to understand is like, no, I mean, the key difference in a service-based architecture is like, there are different versions or copies of this object management server in the service-based application. That is what you see here, OTS. Okay. Apart from that, I mean, they have also created something called OIRS, which is Object Report Service. Okay, so if customers request for any reports from Workday, that comes into the OIRS for for processing. Okay, which in turn will communicate with this OTS to get the data and do the processing. Okay, so basically there are different copies of that object management server in the new service-based architecture. So because there are different versions or rather different copies of this OTS, what will happen is like, I mean, the request will get routed to these different OTSs based on the load at that point in time. Okay. So this way Workday ensures like, no, I mean, the performance is not impacted. Okay. Or rather you are able to get the data soon from the application. Is that clear? I guess no one is speaking, or rather I am not able to hear anyone. Okay. So from an architecture perspective, I mean, let's only understand that, no, I mean, the object management server is the heart of this application. All your requests, all your Workday requests, your security, your business logic, everything gets executed within the object management server. Okay, and then there are other components inside the service-based architecture which ensures that the object management server has the appropriate data to be processed. That is what you see these other boxes here. So we won't get into the details of all that, but only understand that, no, I mean, the object management server is the heart of this application. Okay. Now, having said that, okay, in Workday you can broadly say that there are two modules. One is your functional module, one is your technical module. Okay. So in real-time scenario, okay, everyone will have to do their core HR first. Core HR functional module first. You need to get certified on core HR functional module. Okay. After you get certified on your core HR functional module, then you are free to move either to specialized functional modules or get certified on specialized functional modules like benefits, payroll, recruitment, things like that. Okay, which are all like functional streams, or you are free to move to an technical stream for integrations. Okay, so you have to first complete your core HR. Okay, and then you specialize on other specialized modules like recruitment, payroll, or you move to integrations. So if you are taking the integration stream, you have to complete your integrations module where we speak about core connectors, where we speak about core connectors EIB. Okay, I mean, those are the two systems with which you actually do an integration in Workday. Okay. Apart from these two modules like core connector and EIB, we also use Workday Studio, which is a specialized integration system that we use in Workday and which would be a separate course altogether. Okay. So in this training session, what we are proposing is like we learn how to do the core HR functional module. Okay. And then we move to the integrations module wherein we learn how to integrate systems with Workday. Okay. So basically, I mean, we first look into the HCM fundamentals. Okay. And then we start with the core HR module actually, wherein we actually learn how to I mean, how to create supervisory organizations, which is a prerequisite in Workday. Okay, so we learn what is a supervisory organization, how to create that, how to do a staffing model, how to set a staffing model, how to set up a compensation structure. Okay, and then we do hiring process to hire a process. So remember, always the core HR starts with hiring a person, right? You hire a person and then you do other transactions on the worker like promotion, termination, job change, things like that. But to do all that additional transactions, you first have to hire a person. Okay. Now, before you hire a person in Workday, you have to set up some data, some master data in Workday. And that is what we are learning in the previous days, like creating supervisory organization, staffing models, compensation structure, things like that. Okay. So we do all that and then learn how to do the hiring process. Okay. Then we also look into a specialized thing like Workday security. Okay, so we learn at a high level, we learn how Workday security is actually done inside the application. Okay, then we also look at configuring business processes. As I said, in Workday, you cannot customize anything, you can only configure it. So if two different companies has two different hiring process systems, how do you ensure that uh, their unique requirements are taken care of? So that you do using the business process. You configure the business process in such a way that these companies hiring processes are set up using the business process. So we learned that also at a high level. Okay. Then we look at event management. Okay. Once you do the hire, you do a promotion, everything is called an event inside the Workday. So how do you find these events? How do you correct these events? How do you cancel these events? All those things we learn. Okay. So after you hire, you can do other transactions also on the user. Okay. Additional staffing transactions. So we learn how to create contractors. Okay. How to terminate an employee, how to switch primary jobs, things like that. We look at high level how to do the self-service, how employees do self-service options, or what self-service options the employees have from the Workday system. Okay. So with that, we complete the core HR module and then we move to the integration stream. So in integrations, we first learn like, no, I mean, a high level of how integration systems look like. What are the integration systems or tools that are available? What platforms are available? Okay. After that, we learn how to create reports in the integrations class. Okay. Because you would see that, no, I mean, reports is also a data source for integrations. So we learn how to create the reports in Workday and how to use that in the integration systems. Okay. Then we look at calculated fields, which is a Workday, what do I say, specialized functionality. Okay, so we look at calculated fields, where it is used, what types of calculated fields are available. And then we look into core connector, which is an integration system that we can build. Okay. So we look at core connectors, we look at change detection, okay, document transformation, which are all specialized Workday integration modules. Okay, then we look at EIB, which is another integration system like core connector. Okay, so we learn how to create an EIB system also on Workday. Then we will briefly look into how we deploy Workday in real-time scenario. Okay. Any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I do have a couple of questions, So
Okay.
so this training is running what are the timings? I am in the US. So are these
Okay.
running by the US time zone or Indian time zone? Means what's your proposed times training sessions will be?
So what Naresh will do is that, no, I mean, he'll take all your preferable timings,
Okay.
okay, and then come up with an appropriate timing which would be comfortable for all the students. So typically the timings would be these demo session timings only.
Oh,
Okay,
that
1
was
hour
it.
here and two, yeah.
Okay, so each you have this. I like first of all I would like to comment. I think it was really pretty good. The demo which you put it together and all the agenda. I think pretty
Mhm.
good. So I have couple of. So this will be like you have like you have day 24. Like you have 25 days training here. So how long? So you will be covering each session in 1 hour or 2 hours? Like each day will be how long? How long the
So
sessions will be?
ideally, yes, so properly people always look at completing within 1 hour. Sometimes it gets stretched by 1.5 hours.
Okay, but maximum 1.5 hours.
Yes.
Okay, but that's fine. I'm just getting an idea. And the
Yeah.
third question I have that will you give us the access of the workdays for practicing? You have an environment or how does we practice it?
Yes. So what we'll
I
do
know.
is like, yeah. So
I
we have a
understand
tenant.
HCM is very restrictive. It's a very secured
Yes.
workday. They have
So
done the way they have done it. I think it's pretty secured, you know.
yeah, yes. So what we'll do is like, no, I mean, see, what are sessions that we do. Okay.
Okay.
So apart from telling the theory, I would also be showing you in the tenant how to do all that.
Okay.
Okay. Apart from this, I mean, we can share our screens and then you will get access to do your practices on this tenant.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And I've
will it
also
be
posted.
one to one or will it be like a group sessions?
No, I mean that I'll speak with Naresh and then find out. So what I wanted to make sure is like, I mean, see, in Workday, how you configure things is actually easy. How you
I
go to
know.
Amazon.com and then order a product. No one actually teaches you that, right?
Yes,
So
you're
that's
right.
kind
You're
of
right.
that's kind of intuitive. So in Workday also
Okay.
to how to do the transactions is like intuitive. If
Yep.
you
I
know
understand
what
that
to
point.
do,
Yep.
it's kind of easy.
Okay.
So, I mean, yes, ideally students have this question like, no, whether it's one-to-one
No, I'm
training
just
sessions
asking,
and also,
I'm just asking
yeah,
because you're
so
saying that you will give the tenant access. So will all of us will be logging into one at a time or will